a darling program of the bank. We just started 2 years back. This was launched by the Honorable FF, and as of 31st March 2023, we have provided support of 638 crore to 42 companies. And in this program, we are also infusing equity if it is needed. So we have done 4 equity investments under this program. Now, if you try to break down these companies, what type of companies these are, so we try to do some analysis of these companies who have benefited under the program. We find a very key trait in all these companies. For example, 22 companies are at the forefront of innovation with cutting-edge technologies in various areas like medtech, clean tech, artificial intelligence, IoT, and industry and drones. Healthcare is not behind, so we have 9 companies where we have supported for healthcare through pharmaceuticals, medical services, and healthcare solutions, and sustainability. So we're very proud that we have supported companies under the Uthte Sitare program who are committed to sustainability. So we have there 8 companies with innovative solutions for promoting environmental sustainability. In addition to this, we've also contributed to an alternate investment fund, which is called as a Ubharte Sitare Fund. This fund has a commitment of around 295 crore, and in this fund, already investments up to 85 crore has been made. Again, the investments under the fund will be towards equity instruments. Again, the type of companies will be innovative and export-related companies. We also, now this program cannot get completed without us tying up with the technical giants. So there, in order for us to provide intervention to the companies who have who operate on a high-tech space and who have potential to grow, we have actually collaborated. These are some of the pictures, but we've actually collaborated with the academia who help us, or we get leads from them in terms of they are innovators and that what we call as the next stage of startup financing, which Exim would do. So some pictures where we have actually entered into collaboration with tie-ups with IIT Mumbai as well as IIT Delhi. Now, our program, and I mentioned it's a darling program of Exim, so what this direct program has also received international accolades from development financing institutions. So 2 of the pictures, one is from the ADFIA, that is the Association of Development Financing Institutions in Asia and Pacific, and the other is from ALIDE, that is Latin American Association. So both the places, in fact, our programs have actually won amongst all the programs or global programs of other ECAs. Some of the pictures on our Ubharte Sitare program, these are more interesting pictures, if I may say, warehouse automation, this is really innovative but is doing extremely well. Then precision engineering equipment for nuclear, defense and space sector. So Indian companies are doing extremely well on that, and specifically smaller companies. So the aim of the bank is to see how they can become giants, maybe in the next 3 to 5 years. When we look at on the medical side also, we have supported capacity expansion for India's only radiotherapy and radiology equipment developer. And of course, we have supported the Mysore ESDM cluster for testing quality and regulatory needs of electronics industries, including startups and MSME. So we're trying to support that ecosystem so that these companies can grow big. Again, in the biotech sector, we have examples where organic liquid fertilizer, which is being developed using purely agro waste. We are also looking at manufacture of parts of EVs and hybrid vehicles. Again, they are a little different than auto component manufacturers. These are the guys who will do a very, very specific and they have a technology which is not available with the other companies in the country. Like last, if I can explain, this is support to hydroforming company. So this is a company which actually supplies to German company because they have the technology in India for hydroforming, which is then required by the German company. Now, Ubharte Sitare program is a program which is aimed at the MSME segment, and in the last 1 year we have also realized that there is a trade finance gap where the Indian companies able or they would not like to sell to a country they don't know. So, with the objective of ensuring that Indian companies keep accessing newer markets and which would result or which would definitely result in incremental exports, we have set up this trade assistance program. Now, under this program, we have supported it's just started. In fact, we have not yet done a formal launch, but we still calling ourselves on a pilot basis. But during the pilot basis, during the year, we did 122 transactions where we have actually done more than $300 million of trade finance has been supported across 17 countries. And again, here, the exports, the type of goods which are being exported is very varied. It could be automotive, textile, iron, steel, machineries. Again, this will help in a significant multiplier effect, because once we help them export to a particular country by confirming the LC which is issued by the buyer's bank, and after a successful experience of that transaction, the Indian companies then can start exporting to those countries because they've already had an experience of credit or performance. So we believe if once we start this, it's definitely going to have a major multiplier effect. This also will give lots of comfort in the global trade system, global trade and settlement system. And we are working with the Indian banking sector on this, because most of the Indian exporters, or most of the exporters, including the smaller, especially the MSME exporters, typically bank with the banking system in India. And these banks then work with Exim Bank. So we actually collaborate with the Indian banks, and we would like to call ourselves a bridge between the Indian banking system and the global banking system. But if an Indian company wants to export, say, to a European market or US, it's very easy for them because most of the banks in these countries are known, and they don't even mind doing open exports, on open basis. But if there is an opportunity for an Indian company, say, to export to a particular country in Africa, most probably the Indian exporter gives away that opportunity because they are not very sure, they don't know who's the bank in that country and all. So that's where Exim Bank steps in and confirms. So we actually guarantee those LCs which are being issued by those banks, and that's how the Indian companies become comfortable in taking up that export order. We can actually, typically trade is done for shorter tenors, but in Exim we can also do for longer tenors. As I was mentioning earlier, we collaborate with the Indian banks, because that's how we are going to reach out to the Indian exporters who may have opportunities to export in certain countries and they're not really taking it up. So some pictures of the partnerships we have actually done during the year under TAP program. Now, with that, I come to the promotional and developmental role. Again, we Export Credit Agency and a policy bank for the Government of India, we have a very big and a very professional research and analysis group which actually provides policy inputs to the Government of India. So I think some of the examples are given here where we do studies on countries, on region focus. We also look at various topics which are relevant for trade, for example, counter trade and essays on finance and development. And we also do state level studies. Sometimes we do these studies at the request of the states. Sometimes we find them interesting and we do it. So we have done state level studies for Assam, Andhra Pradesh and Himachal Pradesh. We also do sector specific studies. So we picked up chemical, iron, steel, sugar, methanol, and these are studies of contemporary relevance, and this helps Indian companies understand the sector or understand the markets. As well as the policy makers also when they are formulating policies. Just to add, just to continue with that thing, so the country is negotiating free trade agreements, so that's also there also we are contributing to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, where we are doing the PFD assessment studies and the GTAC model, and help on scoping and other activities when this FTA is being negotiated. Okay, one thing is, and that's something which I don't know, you've been very lucky, and I'm sure we are lucky because we are right. So we have consistently and accurately forecasted India's exports. So we have a model, Exim Bank's model on export leading index, where we forecast the growth rate. And if we go back testing, when we do back testing, we realize that our growth forecasts have been very, very accurate. So that's something also which our research and analysis group does. A picture of a study which was, or a consultancy assignment which was commissioned by the export valuers for establishment of export credit agency in Bangladesh. So the team from Exim Bank actually is helping in setting up of this export credit agency. Again, when we look at various papers we do, and the idea is also to have lots of outreach programs and how to help Indian companies get bigger share in the export markets. So some pictures where we have done outreach programs and conferences, and we also engage with the multilateral institutions who then come and speak about the opportunities of contribution or to participate in the projects which are being funded by these multilateral agencies. Again, we also have instituted an International Economic Research Annual Award. So last year, Dr. Kanika Pathania had actually got this award. The study or the title was the inverted degree structure and effective rate of protection. Earlier in 22, the BRICS Economic Research Award also was presented to Dr. Apoorva Gupta. So this is more of a contribution to our to the academic side, and also to encourage studies and research in the area of international trade and finance. I think this just goes on. So a conference on G20 which was held on trade finance cooperation, so some of the pictures of that. Again, we like to see how we can make a difference to states. So I think the middle picture is on the Uttarakhand, where we had organized a seminar. And earlier on the last picture where I mentioned that the digital platform or the MI system which we developed for our Government of India Lines of Credit program, and which was launched by the Honorable Letter. Okay, again some of the more pictures. I'll just skip through them. Okay, as Exim Bank, we have very strong linkages not only with only the Indian banking system and the exporters, but also with the global banking system. So we of course lend money to us, and we work, and we also jointly work and collaborate with them on projects which are of interest to that country also. So some of the pictures on that. We actually took a loan of $100 million from Japan Bank for International Cooperation. The other pictures are on our platform readiness in terms of increasing our presence in the trade finance. Coming to grassroots initiatives, we continue to build capacity and enhance competitiveness of grassroots and rural businesses. Some of the training and workshops we've been doing across the country, as well as our support with district as export hub. So that's another endeavor we have, and we hope to continue and grow this intervention.